Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on opening night of the Thoroughbred. It is Friday, the 15th of September, 2023. I'm going to look at all the races on tonight's program from the Big M, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. So we have 6 races to look at. Let's get to it right now. All turf. Should be on the turf. Might be a good going. We're not going to see firm ground, but it's still a good card here. And so let's get to it. The first race, it's main special weight purse, $45,000. Race for Jersey breds, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds, then upwards. We have a field of, 10 horses going to the turf course. The distance of ground is 1,700 meters or a mile and 1/16 on the Meadowlands turf course. Portable rails are up this afternoon or this evening at 17 feet. I'm going to take as a top selection the number 9 horse here, Duchess of Destin. I'm going to go 9174 in the superfecta. 9174 super, top selection 9 horse, Duchess of Destin. 3-year-old filly by Destin here. Kelly Breen trains. Paco Lopez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 27th of August at Monmouth, a mile 16th in main special weight, 70,000, and the horse finished second by 2 lengths that day. He had a very wide trip, which probably cost him. He sat back early. He really was closing up well late, and he had lead. He got overtaken in the lane where I think the wide trip got to him. He was nearly broke the main that day, but he just missed. He ran his heart out. That race, if he runs the same race today, he could win. I'm going to give him another shot to find the winner's circle here today. He can sit close, which I think is going to be a good thing for this course. 2 back, he ran 27th of July at Monmouth, or 21st July at Monmouth. Mile 16th in main special weight, 68,000. And he finished 5th by 5 lengths that day. He was a little lackadaisical early on. He was gaining that day. He needs something more. But again, I've seen worse race for him. And then prior to that, his turf debut at Monmouth, mile 16th in main special weight. He finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths. He stalked that day again. He showed something. It was an improvement off his dirt debut at Monmouth on the slop where he just never really got going. But he's definitely been to improve with every single race. Coming here training well. I'm going to use him on the ticket. I think the rail horse here, looking for treasure, could win also for Luisa Rivera. Most recently in a main special weight at Monmouth over the mile 16th in late August, same race Duchess of Destin is coming out of. This horse finished 3rd by 2 1/4 lengths that day. And, he didn't get out of the gate so clearly. Was very rambunctious in the preliminaries of the race. But he settled well during the race and it was really closing up well late. Not a bad race. Hopefully she settles down. If she settles down, she could win. Her race 2 back at Monmouth going mile 16th wasn't bad at all in her Jersey debut. She's training well. Let's give her a shot in the Jersey Shore 6 that begins with this race. But to recount my selection for the opener from the Big M, I'm going to take the number 9 horse here, Duchess of Destin. Give kudos to the 1 horse looking for treasure. 9174 super, 9 1-year multi-race. The second event from the Meadowlands. It is a claiming event going for a $21,000 purse. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Never won 3 races here. We have a field of 8 horses going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on that turf course. And again, the rails are up at 17 feet. I'm going to take the 3 horse Whatcha McCall. I'm going to go 3-5-1-6 in the superfecta. 3-5-1-6 super. Top selection 3 horse Whatcha McCall. This 3-year-old filly by Frosted here. Jose Delgado trains. Maddie Oliver gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 13th of August at Monmouth, about 5.5 on the turf course and claiming 16,000. And the horse finished 6 by 6 1/4 lengths. She was flying on the front end that day. She kind of hit the wall late, but she showed potential early on. Coming here to a very speed favoring turf course where this horse broke the main last year on the turf course quite nicely off of a similar run previously. I'm going to give this horse another shot to get a good trip and win here today. She is stepping up in some class, but it's not the world's toughest claiming 16. 2 back and a claiming 16 at Monmouth going 30th of June. She finished 3rd by 3/4 length. And again, she was flying on the front end, 20 and 4 to the first quarter. Kind of hit the wall late, but she ran her heart out there. And then claiming 40 at Monmouth going 5 on the 9th of June. She finished 5th by 8 lengths that day. She had some pace pressure with her early on. She kind of hit the wall late, but she ran her heart out. Like I said, she likes this turf course. She won here on the 23rd of September last year in a main 25,000. Win by 3 lengths, almost on the front end all throughout. A very good, easy race. Came back to win actually an option 75 at Monmouth going 5 on the Tapeta. At Goldstrom on the Tapeta in December, winning by 3. It was a very, very good race with an 80 buyer. Her form's slightly gone, down since then, but they've been trying her against tougher competition. Since going down in class, her form's actually been going up, which I think is going to be a good thing for her. Training well, I think she could win here. I think the 5 horse here, take E-Lady for Fuentes, could win. Cutting back and trip from the last race at Delaware, where the horse was going a mile and just wasn't staying. She finished 6 by 2 1/4 lengths that day and just didn't show up there. It had a decent 4th going 5.5 at Colonial in August. That race could definitely win here. And, it just couldn't stay the mile again at Colonial before that. Hasn't won since the summer of 2022, where the horse won a claiming 10 on the lawn at Colonial going 5.5. half, winning by a neck from mid-pack position. I thought that was a very good race. Making the Meadowlands debut, training well, cutting back in trip. It wouldn't surprise me at 9-2. Even the one-horse Fast Corey, tried the dirt last time out and claiming 16, where the horse actually won by 4.5 lengths on the front end all throughout. A very good, easy run. It was actually claimed from Mercantan Karamachi to the new trainer Juan Avila. The races in New York definitely win here. I'll give this horse a shot at 4-1, but I don't think you're going to see 4-1 at post time. I think this horse is going to get a little bet into the ground and go off as your favorite. But to recap my selection for the second from the Meadowlands, going to take the 3-horse whatchamacall, give kudos to the 5-horse Tacky Lady and the 1-horse Fast Corey, 3-5-1-6 Super, 3-5-1 in your multi-race. The third event from the Meadowlands, it's a maiden claiming event going for a $20,000 purse race for maidens 2-year-olds here. We have a field of 11 horses entered, only 10 could go, 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs in the Meadowlands turf course. Going to take the 2-horse Bird of Eden. I'm going to go 2-10-5-3 in the superfecta, 2-10-5-3 Super, top selection 2-horse Bird of Eden. This 2-year-old filly by Street Boss. Chuck's Spin trains this one, gets Tours up in the saddle. The horse's most recent outing came the 4th of September at Monmouth, a mile in the main special weight 56,000, and the horse finished 7 by 5 3/4 lengths that day. Didn't get out of the gate so clearly, was a little bit wide, and just not really getting going that day. Refreshing here, not the world's toughest race, back to 5, gets a little closer. I probably won't be on the lead, but I think we'll be with them early on. I think this horse could be, in a better race than she was last time out. Since the last run, she is training a little well. 2 back in main special weight 55 at Monmouth Mile on the 5th of August. He finished 7 by 5 1/4 lengths that day, and didn't get out of the gate so clearly, was in the parking lot wide throughout, had the lead for a split second, but then just completely crumbled in the lane. Definitely outran the 44-1 odds, but still needed something more there. And then prior to that, Monmouth 5 furlongs in the main special weight. He finished 5th by 9.5 lengths, but was placed 4th through disqualification of the 3rd place finisher for interference around the far turn. This horse had stopped. He was running okay until that final quarter there, and then on debut on the dirt at Monmouth on the seal going, he just didn't really do running from a wide post draw. But finally getting an inside post draw, could be forwardly paced. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse wins. Even the 10 horse here, Unseen for Paco Lopez and Jose Camejo. The most recent race was against Tougher, going a mile. Didn't break in the debut at Monmouth, but was really gaining well behind a decent filly. She did lose by 13, but she got beat by, like I said, a decent horse. Training well since the last race. They took her out of the gate. I'm going to give this horse a shot on the ticket. Getting blinkers on, it wouldn't surprise me if this horse steals it on the front end from the wide post draw. We'll use her in the pick 4 that begins with this race. But to recap my selection for the third from the Big M, I'm going to take the 2-horse Bird of Eden, give kudos to the 10-horse Unseen, 2-10-5-3 Super, 2-10 in your multi-race. The fourth event from the Meadowlands, actually the featured on the program, it's an allowance optional claimer purse, $52,500, race for Jersey bred, fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going 1,700 meters or mile 16th on the Meadowlands turf course. I'm going to take the 3-horse Joy and Prosperity. I'm going to go 3-2-5-6 in the superfecta. 3-2-5-6 super, top selection 3-horse Joy and Prosperity. 4-year-old filly by Micromanage. Gets Sweeney trains this one. Jorge Vargas Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing was just not a very good race at Monmouth. A mile on the turf course in a state bred optional 15. She finished 3rd by 3 1/4 lengths. She was gaining that day, but lost all chances when they drew the race early in the week. It's drawn 11 of 11. You never got good position and just never really showed up. Hopefully with better post right here today, it could be save some ground on this turf course. I think this horse come back and improve off that race. 2 back at Monmouth, a mile on option 15. Another race where the horse was just a little bit wide. He finished 3rd by 8 3/4 lengths. He did settle well earlier on, but he was a little bit wide late, which cost him. But if he runs that race today, he can definitely win against these horses. And then prior to that, on Monmouth, mile 16th, the main special weight, winning by 3/4 length, a little bit wide, but he was really gaining that day. He grinded it out to the wire, an all-around good run. And then here at Monmouth, or over at Monmouth in mid-June, in a main special weight, finished 2nd by a neck. Then breaks so well. If the horse would have broke, he would have won. But it was closing up like an express train late. Not a bad race after all said and done. It seems at times this horse doesn't break. On the debut here last fall at the Meadowlands, was closing up well late, but just didn't get out of the gate so clearly, which cost him. He's training well here. I'll give him a shot on the ticket. I think the 2-horse Rob the Treasure can win also. Most recently claiming 16 earlier this month at Monmouth, he finished 3rd by 3 1/4 lengths that day and had the very troubled trip into that first turn and never really recovered after that. Was closing up a little bit, but he needed something more. His race here last fall on this turf course wasn't bad at all, where he showed some pace. If he shows some pace here today, he could definitely win and when he does show pace, that's where he gets the better races under his belt. So hopefully Marin, who's riding this horse, could be aggressive with him. If he's aggressive, he could win. Even the 5-horse exclusive champion, the stablemate here, he could win also for Gerio Rendon. Hasn't won since going 5.5 at Monmouth in the main special in July, but has always run these sneaky good races since then on the lawn, going and increase a trip. I would use him in the pick 4 here. But to recount my selection for the 4th in the Meadowlands, going to take the 3-horse, Join Prosperity. Give kudos to the 2-horse, Rob the Treasure, and the 5-horse here, exclusive champion. 3256 Super, 325 in your multi-race. The 5th event now from Monmouth, beginning of the late double. From the Meadowlands. The 5th race from the Meadowlands. It's a claiming event going for a $17,000 purse race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Number 1, 2 races here. Claim price $7,500. We have a field of 11 horses entered. 11 horse is an MTO or AE. Well, there's no dirt races, so it's an AE. It says 10 will go 1,700 meters or the mile 16th trip on the Monmouth turf course. I love the 7-horse Fire King in the spot. I'm going to go 7-2. 9-3 in the superfecta. 7-2-9-3 super. Top selection 7-horse Fire King. 3-year-old gelding by Pal's Mouse. Jose Camejo trains. Jose Gomez gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came at Monmouth, a mile and 20th of August in a claiming 16, and he finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths that day. He was flying on the front end that day. He kind of hit the wall late. He was just facing tough horses. Stepping down from claiming 16 to a claiming 7,500, lowest level he's been, showing some pace on this turf course. I think he could really run a good race. Since he doesn't always run on the turf course, but when he runs on it, he runs these sneaky good races. 2 back, they ran him in a claiming 7,500 at Monmouth, mile 16th, off a voided claim from the previous race. He didn't do running that day. Finished 9th by 64 1/4 lengths that day. He showed running for the first quarter, then completely crumbled. I don't know if he likes the dirt. His dirt races have been very subpar as of recently. Prior to that, he out of a voided claim race, he ran a mile 70 at Monmouth in late May, where he finished 2nd by 7 lengths. He was flying on the front end early on, but then just completely crumbled late. Wasn't his day to win there, and then they took him to Aqueduct, mile 16th on the outer, and a claiming 30. Finished 8th by 11.5 lengths, again, setting the pace, but then just kind of crumbled that day. But if you look at the races in early 2022, when he was under the care of Christophe Clement running in New York, those turf races, they're fast enough to win here. He showed potential last time out. His workout patterns haven't been half bad at all. At 8-1, I think he's a live horse in the spot. I think the 2-horse Peugeot Du could win for Rob Atras also and Paco Lopez. Something that does scare me a little bit. The Atras horses haven't been running so good the last few months, but this horse is getting blinkers on and can be forwardly paced and getting Paco up, who's a very speed favoring rider. His race at Delaware, he nearly won. He finished 3rd by length a few weeks ago, where he just missed late, but he was really gaining that day. In the race at Laurel, he had a little bit ground to gain from a wide posture, but again, he was closing up well late, and then in the main victory at Laurel wasn't bad at all. He's another horse. It's taken a little bit of time to get going, but when he's finally did, he's definitely improving with the buyer numbers. Training well at Monmouth, again, blinkers on. I'm going to give him a shot here. Training well Belmont, not Monmouth, excuse me. But to recount my selection for the 5th in the Big M, gonna take the 7-horse here, Fire King. Give kudos to the 7-horse Peugeot Du. 7-2-9-3 Super. 7-2 in your multi-race. The nightcap here on night 1 of the Meadowlands Fall Turf meeting, the 6th event. It's a maiden claiming event going for a $16,000 purse. Race for Maine's Fillies Mayors, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 13 horses entered. Only 10 could go 1,700 meters or mile 16th on the turf course. And I hope this race, there's at least one scratch in the main body of the race. And I hope my top selection runs. That's going to be 11 horse Bella Shaza. I'm going to pick the first AE as my top selection. Like I said, hopefully we have a scratch that this horse could run. But I'm going to go 11-1-6-3 in the superfecta. 11-1-6-3 Super. Top selection 11 horse Bella Shaza. This 4-year-old filled by Exaggerator. Gary Siaka trains. Maddie Oliver gets them out. Maddie Oliver at Aqueduct this winter. She didn't win. I think she won like 10 or 12 races, but she always rode these good races. Open my eyes to a rider that's going to get better in the future. But most recently this horse ran closing weekend at Saratoga. Mile 16th on the inner and maiden 40,000, and he finished 9th by 7 lengths that day. It was just very wide and just never really showed up that day. That was a very tough race. He's going to the lowest condition he's ever been in. Has some pace if he wants to use it. I think this horse can, with the class relief getting a little less weight, I think this horse is in a better spot to win than he's ever been. 2 back, he ran over the Wilson Mile at Saratoga, mile in the dirt, 6th of August off the turf. He finished 6 by 20 1/4 lengths that day. They tried dirt. He's just not a dirt horse there. And then main 40 at Belmont, some furlongs on the Widener. The horse finished 4th by 6 lengths that day. was just very wide and not keeping up there. Prior to that, going 6 at Belmont in June in main 40, where he finished 4th by 2 1/4 lengths. He needed the race that day, but outran the 19-1 odds. If you look at his odds the last few races, 10, 18-1, 18-1, 10-1, 19-1, 20-1, 42-1. Most recent race where he was somewhat of a favorite was at 9-2 off turf at Aqueduct last October, where he completely ran a crap race. But he'll run these bang on races, like his race in August of 2022 at Saratoga wasn't bad at all in that main 40,000. Getting serious class relief, training well. I'm going to give this horse a shot on the ticket. I think your second likeliest one is the one horse Never So Lucky. Another horse getting some serious class relief. His race 2 back, he ran fast enough to win here. Even the debut, he's run fast enough to win here. He's going to have to sit a little bit closer, but at 5-2, I'll give him a shot on the ticket. But to recount my selection now for the nightcap 6th race from the Meadowlands, going to take the 11 horse here. Belshazzar, give kudos to the one horse Never So Lucky, 11-1-6-3 Super, 11-1 to end off the multi-race wagers. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Good luck, everybody.